Welcome my friends to MotoGP 13. Hope you guys are doing good. I know a lot of you guys asked me for this and I obliged, so here is the first episode of my MotoGP 13 Let's Play. I'll be doing things a little bit differently from what I normally do for a Let's Play, and I'll explain what that is in a couple of minutes. But as you can see, my personal manager there is telling me I've got some wildcard offers for Moto3. Let's have a quick look at those.
These are the offers from teams who are interested in taking you on as a wildcard. Weigh the offers up carefully and choose the team you want to make your World Championship debut with.
As you can see, when you start the game up and start a new career, these are always the same three teams you get. The team performance meter you see there, a full bar is the top bike in that category. The lower the bar is to the right hand side, the worse the team performance is. So obviously, because you're coming in as a wild card, as in a guy that fills in a temporary seat in Moto Grand Prix, you're not going to get a full-time ride straight away. So instead I choose one of these three bikes to start out with. I'm going to go with the Kinetic Technology team here.
Before every weekend, your team will tell you the objective for the race. Getting the required results is vital to maintaining a good rapport with your team, but above all, it will increase your reputation as a rider.
There you go. I must admit, this game's career mode is extremely intuitive.
Over the course of the season, you will be traveling all around the world. Between races, you can relax in your motorhome. Here you can organize every aspect of your life as a rider, beginning with your helmet livery. You will always be kept up to date on every aspect of the World Championship with the latest editions of magazines and newspapers. And you can check your upcoming appointments on your calendar. Use your laptop to get messages from your manager, read other riders' comments, and keep in touch with your fans. Keep track of your position in the championship or your team's position amongst the manufacturers by checking out the standings on the television.
Alright, got all that? Good. Never have to play it again. Quick things to note here. I'm just showing my guy quickly while I'm at it, because you know you can do that beforehand by doing mine off camera. This is what I look like. It's the only black guy picture available, unfortunately. What can you do? I don't think I've ever seen a black guy in Moto Grand Prix before, so I guess it kind of makes sense. There's so many. I've got the body out riding style, very similar to a certain MotoGP superstar called Marc Marquez. If anyone's watching the sport regularly, you'll know just how damn good this dude is. Crew doesn't really matter. The third helmet here, I think. I'm going to keep that one. Let's have a look here. I like this dark one here, actually. That's quite nice. We'll roll with that. My livery colour, I'm going to choose a nice red for that. My racing number, I'm going to stick with 20 because that's my age. Might as well roll with that for the time being. And yeah, you know everything else. Everything else doesn't really matter, to be honest. But I just thought I'd show that off quickly. This first part of career mode is basically you just getting 4 wildcard slots over the course of the first Moto3 season.
At the beginning of each weekend, you and your manager have to choose a rider that you think you can beat. If you meet the challenge and beat the rider, it isn't just your reputation that increases, you will also go up in your team's estimation.
Okay, so my opponent selection is going to be, out of the options available, yeah, Isaac Vinales there. These are the settings I'm going to use. Standard, joint brake, 6 rewinds. I probably won't even use all 6, trust me. I'm probably going to lower that number actually myself down the line. And a strict rule I'm going to have is I'm only going to use flashbacks if I feel I got screwed over on something. If I make a mistake, I'm going to roll with it, okay? Also, I'm going to turn the difficulty down just to medium just for this first wildcard season. And I'm only going to race. I'll start from the back of the field every time. I'm not going to qualify at all. I think that will make the series a little bit more challenging, a little bit more interesting, and easier to record. So the team objective is that I finish 15th and get in the points. Hopefully we'll be able to pull that off. Got it? Good. Also, I'm not sure what the best format is for recording this series. I'm thinking along the lines of 2 races an episode without qualifying, so I start from the back every time. That'll enable you to get through seasons fairly quickly. Might even do 3. But yeah, as you can tell, this game's got absolutely amazing presentation values. Like, this is just like watching the TV broadcasts when it comes to MotoGP. As you can see, we're getting some shots of Jerez. The Jerez circuit, one of 4 Spanish tracks on the MotoGP calendar. We've got Jerez, Catalunya, Valencia, and Aragon. Valencia being the big season finale, round 18, which I'm sure you'll be seeing a little bit later on, probably in episode 2. But yeah, time for the Grand Prix. This is the official Spanish Grand Prix, in case you were wondering. The other ones are all regional based, I suppose. But here is the Jerez circuit. For those old school Formula 1 fans, I'm sure you already know this. Dani Pedrosa holds the lap record. This is one of the more iconic MotoGP tracks. 8 corners to the right, 5 to the left. It runs clockwise. There's some really cool overtaking spots on this track as well, but there's 2 major ones. From the front straight down into turn 1, famously where Rossi caught Casey Stoner a couple of years ago in the wet, and down the hill towards the hairpin. From the long downhill straight, the longest straight on the track actually. Marquez and Lorenzo had some duels around there this year. And zone 3, the final hairpin, which has now been renamed the Jorge Lorenzo corner after his 2 world championships. So it's now the Lorenzo corner, where Marquez famously bullied Lorenzo into 2nd place on this very track. Round, ironically, the the very same Lorenzo corner itself, which is kind of ironic, really. The only downside to all these videos and whatnot is that the loading times for this game can be quite long. But the presentation is excellent, so I'm not complaining too much either. You know, so I guess it's all relative. Ooh.
Welcome to fans of the Motorcycle
Hello,
World
wet track.
Championship. The 3rd race of the season is about to begin here at Jerez, the traditional home of the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's a wet
Riders are
track.
gonna
It's
have to
not
put up
raining,
with
but the
some
track is wet, so
inconsistent weather
tyre
over the
wear
course of
goes
the
up
day.
quickly.
At the moment, the surface is wet after some light rain, but we don't have any precise information about conditions later on.
Yeah, there's multiple weather constraints in this game, but I think this is the wet track version, where basically there's no rain, so the track is continuously drying out. But obviously, since you start the race on wet tyres, your tyres wear out extremely quickly. Luckily, though, the race is 15%, so it's only 3 laps anyway. Even though I might do longer laps once we get to the top class, I'm not sure yet. If any ideas for that, let me know. Anyway, here we go. First Moto3 Grand Prix. We get off to a good start. Sort of. God, this thing is slow in a straight line. Oh my God. But I'm not planning to beat these guys around the straights. I'm planning to beat them around the corners. Trust me, Ducati have had the opposite belief in MotoGP for years when it comes to their bikes. We'll beat you on the straights, but that cornering speed is crap. There's Isaac Vinales, our rival, in 14th, and we're going to breeze past him down the inside. As we kind of had a minor hit there with Masbo. Come down the inside here. The reason why the rain is coming down again. So the track's going to get a little bit wetter from the looks of things. What I was going to say though is that, man, this bike is slow, but it's really good on the brakes. Ooh, I'm going to sit Binder there. We're up to 9th, which is excellent. Thing is though, I must admit, having played this game now for a little bit, because again I got it, the game came out when my laptop was down, so I couldn't make videos when it first came out. But what I will say is this is the best MotoGP game ever made. What was I, Endo there, going into that corner? This is without doubt the best MotoGP game ever. And it's not even close. Seriously. This game is fantastic. The physics are, you know, it's always hard. I don't think people really appreciate or understand just how difficult it is sometimes to create bike physics, because it's not like cars where you've got four wheels and, you know, everything's a lot more routine. Getting bike physics right can be so difficult sometimes. As we take 7th place there somehow. Maybe. Adjo gets past me again. He's got a much faster bike than I do. Because I'm just so much better around the corners. But bike physics are such a difficult thing to get right in games. Like, and often developers will get it wrong. Like in MotoGP 1011, for example, and in other games in the past where developers haven't really bothered with the bike physics, and it just feels unrealistic. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with arcade bike games. You know, some of them can be really fun, like Tourist Trophy, for example, on the PS2 a few years back. You know, some of these bike games who are arcade-based can be really fun. But at the same time, like this game tries to be a simulator, and for the most part, it pays off. Gameplay-wise, it's very tight. I absolutely adore the presentation. Like, I think Codemasters could take some serious lessons from these guys in terms of how to present the product. Like, Milestone has done a tremendous job making this game feel like I'm watching MotoGP on television, and that is, it's like I'm watching the broadcast, and that is as big a compliment as I can pay to this game. You know, it's absolutely tremendous. Mind you, I did say Codemasters there, they did a really good job presenting Grid 2, so, you know, I guess it's all relative. As we actually close in on 6th place Sissies here. But I absolutely love this game. As a bike fan, you know, as a guy who's watched MotoGP for over a decade, and has played just about every major MotoGP game out there, this is probably the best one. The only two, in my opinion, that come close to this is probably MotoGP 4 on the PlayStation 2 and MotoGP 07 on the 360, which was also a very good game. God, this thing is so slow. Looking at it, I think 6th is about as good as I'm going to get here. Like I said, I'm just trying to make sure I get the best seat available for Moto3 next season. That's why the difficulty is only at medium, and because I haven't played this game in about a month. Not a month, about like 2.5 weeks or so, because I've just been so busy playing other things. But once I get back into the swing of things again, I'm going to up the difficulty back up to hard. And even hard, I know I'm pretty competent in this game. I'm definitely above average for a bike racer. So, you know, no sissy playthroughs here, kids, I promise. So once I get back into the swing of things properly, by episode 3 I'll be back to normal, promise. But these Moto3 bikes are so fun, it's just like watching it in real life. Like, if anyone's ever watched a Moto3 race, you'll know that they're always carnage. And I mean that in a good way, because it's just so much fun, and these guys are all so close together. The sport itself is ultra competitive. It's excellent. You never know what's going to happen. There's only 2 or 3 guys that are consistently brilliant up there, and you know, at the top of their games. Alex Rins is one of those guys to watch. Maverick Vinales is another one to watch. Alex Marquez, brother of Mark, is up there as well as we get past Curry Riddenham on a second to last corner. Breaking hard into Lorenzo corner there. And speaking of which, there is Alex Marquez. Can I get the drop them to keep this 5th place? That would be an excellent result. Yes, sir. 5th place. Not bad for a first go. The thing is, I used one of the 2 blue bikes last time around. That's the first time I used this bike. So to come in 5th, I think was excellent. Very happy with that.
The podium finishers are making their way into
Rins, Vinales, Salom, Marquez, Harrison. Hooray! For the race. Not bad for a wild card, right? And obviously as well, higher positions you get, the more fans you get. As you can see here, if you meet objectives, you meet rider challenges, and the higher up the field you place, the more fans you get, which affects your reputation, and obviously reputation affects what job offers you could get in the future from, you know, the same class or even a higher class, which I'm sure we'll get to later in the series. Also, you can see the more fans you get, the more positive comments you'll get your way on Twitter. As I said, good work, Andre. I'm sure you already have learned a lot from your first experience. Now get some rest in your motorhome, and when you're ready, use the calendar to go to the next engagement. As you can see here, my laptop, I can check my social feeds. I'm getting tweets. I'm getting tweets up in here. Come on, Andre, you're doing really well. Give it your best shot. You can tell you're getting better. Nice, nice. I love these comments. They're very cool. As you can see, team interest. You can see some teams there are starting to think about, you know, giving offers and getting attention. There's a Grassini Moto3 team, the San Carlo team Italia. So you'll see as the series goes on, you'll get more and more wildcard opportunities with better teams if you perform well. See the calendar. The next Moto3 wildcard event will be at Mugello, and then Sachsenring, and then Valencia to round it off before we start our first full season. But if you enjoyed this first episode, please leave a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope this is going to be the start of 2 really awesome Let's Plays. That would be really sweet. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching. I've been Harris101, and I'll catch you guys next time. Sayonara.